Hello everyone and welcome back to the Asia Games qualifiers. We're back in East Asia for this one. We've got Korea taking on China, and this is an important match. This is the decider, the tiebreaker between Korea and China. And everybody was talking about, oh man, we're so excited for the Asia Games. We're so excited to see these two teams, these two regions clash. Which is actually superior? Well, Raz, we're about to find out.
Yeah, we are. A lot of this comes down to the fact if you've been going throughout the tournament, Korea and China have both had their weaknesses, which is why in this specific game, score is coming in. So score coming into the jungle, no peanut to be seen. That could be a massive buff up to the team, and we'll see how score ends up coming in.
Yeah,
if he's
really
up
could.
to shape.
Meanwhile, on the other side, if you take a look at the lineup from China, you've got 4 members of Royal Never Give Up. Let Me, MLXG, Uzi, and Ming. They're actually going to let Kaisa go through. That's immediately picked up by Ruler. But the only newcomer to this roster that won MSI is Xie in the mid lane. And it looks like they're okay with that Kaisa going through, because that means with Aurelia off the table, with that Yasuo off the table, they get to set up Xie with that Zoe, and they've also got themselves an Ornn.
Yeah, Uzi still has to pick up his AD carry on this phase, because once, if everything shapes up, and if he still has his AD carry to pick up in second phase, then he's going to have to really dig deep into his pool. So that's something I'm worried about. There's technically still Varus and Ezreal up, but remember what MSI was based off of? It was based off of both Kaisa and Ezreal.
Yeah.
And RNG knew that if he didn't get Kaisa, he was going to get Ezreal for himself, so laning phase is going to be important for him.
And that's what we see here. Ezreal alongside that Zoe, the Shen picked up along with the Braum. So it looks like we are getting a little bit closer towards more standard compositions than what the 8.10, 8.11 meta has shown us. Again, for the folks at home, this game was played on patch 8.10, so crit items are still very similar, and Ezreal, similar to what they were before, and Ezreal has not received the 8.11 nerfs just yet. He's still very, very strong, but I guess that's always the question. Who's stronger, Ezreal or Kaisa?
Yeah, in this case, I would say Kaisa would be strong based off of default. I say that because the Braum was picked up first up, so Kaisa Braum is nice. And they've completely banned out mage supports here. Remember Rakan, Karma, Janna, Soraka, just because the support wasn't picked up. And Ming is known as a mage support and would love to be able to support Uzi within the laning phase alone. So if I'm Ming, you might just go towards an Alistar. You might go towards more tank supports that, even though are great later on in the game, are pretty poor within the laning phase versus Braum. Maybe Tahm Kench.
Maybe like a Tahm Kench or something, yeah.
It's possible.
Unless Ming wanted to style and take a champion like Thresh.
Oh.
Morgana's pretty good as well. Again, to look at Korea's composition, they've got Galio, they've got Camille. And remember, that is Faker's Galio, the same Galio that Faker and SKT used to eliminate Royal Never Give Up from the World Semifinals just 8 or 9 months ago. So now it's not Xie who's looking down the barrel of that, or sorry, Xiao who's looking down the barrel of that champion, but the remaining 4 members of RNG have not forgotten.
Yeah, it's a very easy, straightforward composition champion, really. So,
yeah.
like, Galio just means that Faker will always be there. The Camille is there, so even though you know the Camille-Galio combination, in fact, that's the combination that Xie knows very well, because that's what WE have done super well for themselves domestically. So that, and then the Shen combination, there's definitely follow-up with a team fight that Korea has, and if you're China, the Morgana is going to be important just to be able to protect Uzi really early on.
Always the name of the game for the teams playing with Uzi. And, of course, if they ever land any crowd control, if Camille ever finds a target and they're able to separate it out, even the Kaisa can get in there with that adrenaline rush to try to chase somebody down. But, again, this is the Asia Games qualifiers, the tiebreaker match between Korea and China. This is very important for both of these teams. We'll see how it works out as we prepare to load out here. As Keen coming into the top lane, Score coming in to replace Peanut in the jungle, Faker in the mid lane, Ruler AD carry with Core JJ, his support on the other side. We've already gone through the roster for China. Let's see how it shakes out in this game between Korea and China.
Level 1 for me is going to be important. Ping's coming through. That's China calling out for just protection. They cannot walk in. Remember that Braum, AD carry as well with the Kaisa, is super good at invades. So they just need to be able to recognize which side of the map is going to be invaded on and try to respond in the opposite side. I fully expect Korea to just invade it. It just depends. Usually you see the late ones.
30 seconds until minions
Right now they're just sitting in a defensive 5v5 lane. 5v5 line. Again, these teams have already played each other several times over the course of the Asia Games qualifiers. This one is the one that determines it, though, as MLXG on that Kha'Zix will be spotting out Score, who's already looking to step forward. CoreJJ's hanging out on the bottom half of the map, a very safe lineup from Korea. They don't want to take any chances. Same thing out of China on the opposite side. But Ming might be stepping up with Uzi here. If they can land the Dark Binding, they can get some good damage onto CoreJJ.
105. 109 now. I don't expect to see an invade. You see them grouping up now, though. It might end up happening. You're always worried about it. So, Uzi, of course, Klepto, can throw a few Qs early on. Level 1, if you're an Ezreal and if you're not contested, you can try and get yourself a free pack of gold. It's not going to happen here. He doesn't see anybody because this is a real defensive at level 1. Oh, wow.
MLXG is actually starting on the Wolf Cam, as Score gets himself a leash and starts off with that red buff. I didn't see if Let Me actually hung back a little bit to try and feint that the red buff was being started by MLXG because Uzi and Ming were starting out in lane. But now Score is on the bottom side of the map. He's level 2 with that hook shot. Catches up to Uzi, managed to lag the slow, and there's Winter's Bite. First blood to Korea.
And that's how you do it. I mean, sure, Ezreal and Morgana are super safe, but not at level 1. You're not going to be able to get out of that one. So really well done from Score. He's going to TP back into lane. But that just means Camille has full control of bot side. Blue buff going to be able to be taken here and has the ability to go for another gank. So I'm really worried for your Uzi and Ming here.
Already you can see Faker fainting down into the river just in case Kha'Zix were to show up on that side of the map. But MLXG, he's going to be spotted making his way towards the blue buff of Score on the other half. Already things looking a little bit different in this game now as Faker tries to step up and clear out this minion wave. Score is still looking for the invade. He's actually pinging onto the Wolf Camp right now. MLXG's curious start might have baited Score out of position, but that means MLXG, for at least the time being, is going to disappear as they should be expecting him to steal away the blue of Score. That's
the best thing about starting Wolf Camp is that you still end up getting the levels that you want. It just means that you're completely unseen to the wards that Korea places early on, so you don't know where the Kha'Zix is going to be. Right now, Camille should have a great idea that he's topside, just being able to catch that out. But now MLXG is completely uncontested, and the one thing I'm always worried about when it's Kha'Zix versus Camille is the early skirmishing should be in favor of the Camille really early on with the passive that she has for herself, the armor passive there. And also the Galio should always be there to help. So the 2v2, I would say, is in favor of Faker and Score. Doesn't want to make it turn into that.
We'll see where that Galio and Camille start grouping up. Faker right now, he's just hanging out in the mid lane, trying to get that level 6 so that he can tag up with that Camille and start pressing up. MLXG is just clearing out as fast as he can. Letme's even pushing up into Keen's Shen just so that MLXG is as safe as he possibly can be.
And I don't know how I feel about the Kha'Zix pick. Now, this is a great time for Kha'Zix. This is before he got blasted. One thing I will say about Kha'Zix in this composition, you're not going to be going for the Galio, rather safe with the Resolve primary. Not going to be going for the Shen for the same reason, but except has the taunt as well to get away from most scenarios. And then Braum in the bottom lane is just super safe lanes that I find it very difficult for MLXG to have real lasting impact in these 1v1s. So only one I'm looking towards is maybe him and Score, but Score should have the protection, especially once Faker hits 6. So, I mean, this is a Kha'Zix that's going to be going up against the Mountain.
Certainly is going to be tough. At best, he'll have to try to assassinate Ruler in these fights, and that's a Kai'Sa, the outplayed champion, plus a lot of people to protect it. You can consider just about every single member on Korea able to protect that Kai'Sa in these upcoming fights. But for now, the laning phase is just going to drag out as we look towards those core items. Faker getting closer and closer to level 6. Score at level 4 now. Xie in the mid lane is trying to keep Faker down. He's even in CS. This recall was just completed.
Take a look at this. Uzi and Ming slowly pushing this one in. It's making it hard for CoreJJ and Ruler to really get a wave pushed up. It's not like they lose out in the 2v2. They kind of do, but they shouldn't feel too afraid of that. They're just worried of where Kha'Zix is. Because this is a great position for Kha'Zix to gank, so they're playing it extra safe.
Just holding on to that bottom lane. MLXG actually leaps over into the Dragon Pit to get out of there safely, and is still pathing through the Tri-Bush. This wave is pushing in. Like we said, it's getting pretty big. MLXG may be hoping that someone will step up into the tri-bush, as that's even Dematerializer used, and the Cannon Wave. Now, Score is on this side of the map.
Yeah, I mean, he should be safe. There's no way you're going to dive that, and I think Kha'Zix is just looking to cover for them, but that being said, he's completely out of there. Score has an opportunity.
He's able to sneak in behind MLXG, but already the Chinese bottom lane has backed away from this tier 1 turret.
This has largely just been pressure across the board from China. So bottom lane pressures coming through is only amounted to just like 1 CS. It's not too much. Same goes mid lane. Oh, wait a minute. If you first you don't succeed.
Ganked through a different bush. Oh, he was spotted
no.
there. Ming is able to escape. Shields himself as recall was just completed from MLXG.
Kha'Zix is like, I don't need this. I have faith that you're good here.
Oh boy, that was a bit scary. You didn't even see the Camille. You saw it for a moment, and then, oh, black shield yourself.
Wonder if he was just shopping, window shopping. He's like, I didn't see anything.
7 CS ahead of Score, despite that assist going over, so should be close to even in gold as Uzi continues to hold on to this wave down here. But Faker, he's finally level 6 now. We are getting closer to level 6 out of Score as MLXD shows himself to clear out that ward. So much focus on this bottom half of the map.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see what teams would do up against this roster, because even though it's Team China, it's basically RNG. And the RNG mantra is protect your bottom lane at all times. So CA is forced to kind of play to that role. So while he's just sitting in his own wave, he understands what MLXG's pathing will be. So MLXG, who's been pretty free for the most part in this game, now is starting to really cater towards the bottom lane wave. And that's what we should expect from this point forward.
Keen is trying to track MLXG, though. He's level 7 as well, so we could be seeing Korea try to set up for a play. They've even got a control ward behind that red bush, just to keep an eye on where MLXG goes. This red buff should be enough to get him up to level 6. But again, just trying to track the vision of where they're going right now. Score is going to use that vision advantage and the experience advantage to take down Scuttle Crab in the river. Now he's actually going to try and invade. Leaves the Scuttle Crab.
Yeah, he was pretty quick to the punch on his own red buff. Knew that the Shen was in the area beforehand, so he wanted to speed up the process while even pulling the buff towards a safe space. So good on MLXG. Got the hell out of there before that became a problem.
Some damage as Keen keeps Let Me pushed into the turret. A trade from what was happening just a few minutes ago as MLXG passes blue buff over. He's finally ticked over to level 6 on his own, as Xie now level 8 is going to be feeling pretty happy with that blue to trade back against Faker, who should be getting his own blue with this next wave. But things are slowing down just a little bit. We're seeing some vision pressing up more and more out of the Korean team, but China forced to sit back and play defensive here.
This is where things start to get rough for China. Xie is starting to get pushed in pretty consistently. Faker has blue buff for himself, assuming that Score doesn't steal with red buff. So all of that's coming true. Faker's literally just waiting for his team to do something so he can press R. So I'm just waiting for them to get the control in the bot side of the map. Right now, Vision's just being cleared against them, for them to actually get the play going. Because everyone knows what's going to happen. They're just fighting for the vision so they can at least see it and get warning.
Yeah, MLXG is actually behind Korea's bottom lane right now. They're skirmishing over a ward, but he's actually pinging around towards that mid lane. He doesn't know whether or not he's been spotted again. This is 8-10 Kha'Zix. So he still has that old ultimate passive. You could see him trying to sneak around the brush, but not going to bait Korea's bottom lane out of position.
Yeah, Uzi wasn't ready for it either. He was taking a wave underneath the tower. So if he came in at that point, you wouldn't have an AD carry. That's never a good thing.
At best, you've got that true shot barrage to try and turn a fight. Not to mention he's still only sitting on that sheen and the raw damage from Mystic shot, so it would be difficult to affect the equivalent amount of damage of Kaisa in that upcoming fight, who's starting to build towards her own Guinsoo's Rage Blade. Meanwhile, teleport in the mid lane, Xie pulls Faker in just by pushing that wave. And still, it's just nice and slow. Score's hanging out down here. True Shot Barrage is used. Uzi might need to be careful here. Score managed to sneak in underneath the Chinese bottom lane.
They both have flash, though. That's something. They can actually try and blow it, but they're playing rather safe. Score is not going to have a good time.
Yeah, giving up a single minion to play safe in this wave. Score, I believe he was just barely spotted on the way out. Uzi with a bit of a dance to escort Score to safety. MLXG and Xie even roaming down into the river the moment Score appeared onto their minimap. They're just keeping an eye on towards this as Ming could be trying to skirmish with Core JJ. They're fighting over Scuttlecrab control right now. Ming is the target. Sleepy Trouble Bubble misses. Flash engage onto MLXG. He stealths, gets the black shield, flashes, and leaps to safety with his life. Faker still holding on to the hero's entrance. Doesn't need to use it because Korea already found the summoner spells of China.
Yeah, they found the target on MLXG sitting in the river, just surrounded by the rest of Korea. So ultimately, he still gets out, but you're right about the summoner spells. So he's going to be a prime target next time.
That's a lot of cooldown. Let me even just trading against Keen, trying to make Stand United look like a not favorable option right now. Just alleviating global pressure as Let Me is even going to start. Just trying to bait Keen in. Come on, fight me. I dare you. Yeah. Xie still trying to push back against Faker in this mid lane. That Galio, so difficult to push out, but Score is behind Xie right now, and Cleanse is on cooldown.
Yeah, he doesn't have a flash, so it's actually pretty difficult to get on towards Xie. Unless if the taunt comes through from Faker, there's not going to be much of a response. So just look towards the flash taunt, or taunt flash that is, to be the one that opens this one up.
Score still sitting back there. Look at the vision from Korea. Just these wards starting to push forward. One in the Wolf camp, one watching the roaming path of Xie, another one behind the red buff of MLXG, constantly tracking out the vision of China, keeping an eye on any rotations. Right now, China are just sitting in their lanes, though.
Score is known as a tracking jungler. He's known to be the type of jungler that slows down the pace of the game, not the type of Peanut. Peanut's known as, yeah, sure, he's going to be invading, but more so to skirmish, much like MLXG. You could say he's the Korean MLXG. But Score has none of that. I mean, he plays to his own kind of tune. So if you're MLXG, you're going to be seen more often. And it's going to be Score that really chooses his own fight. So even though not much has happened in that regard, it's really Camille that's been doing well here.
Xie did spot Score there. MLXG, I believe he should have been spotted going in there. Meanwhile, Uzi forced to flash and back away from the bottom lane of Ruler and Core JJ. Might have taken a one-on-one that didn't work out in his favor. Doesn't have teleport, as it appears that he's just gotten back into the lane with that Manamune, but not exactly a favorable trade.
Yeah, at this point, Uzi's just hoping that the poke means something.
That was actually Stand United from Keen, too, to protect Faker.
Okay, all right.
Starting to see some damage. Xie's got that Luden's Echo. And Ocean Dragon is being pinged out by Korea. Score thinks he's got the advantage here, while Core JJ keeps Uzi and Ming in that bottom lane. Faker keeps Xie in the mid lane, and it's an easy take for Korea.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Remember, Ruler picking up his Winsu's Rage Blade means that there's no way Uzi's going to be able to deal with it. Sure, he's trying to get passive poke. Wait a second.
Oh, Ming flash ulting to find Core JJ. Uzi steps up and gets punished. As Score finds the kill, Core JJ still alive. Xie trying to kill Score, but Ruler follows up and Let Me gets denied.
Oh.
MLXG finds one. He finds two. He's looking for Ruler, and he will be able to find it. A triple kill to MLXG's Kazakhs.
He's gonna, wait, yeah, there's no more. So this guy kind of just found himself in the back line. Kinda. Just a little bit, tore him to pieces.
And they're already at low health. Absolutely, that's what happened. Keen will try to push and take that top tier 1. If he can get first brick before China, that might well equalize the gold a little bit.
Just a tiny bit. So that was still a really strong play coming in from China. So a lot of the poke, we were wondering if it was going to work out properly because Score really played the engage properly to get on towards Uzi and assassinate him. But rightly so, MLXG found himself in the flank position and got 2 kills for his name in the third one. So now you have a 3-kill Kazakhs. Boost of mobility, ready to go. And he also has, I mean, next on his list is going to be Black Cleaver Guardian Angel, but he's already has his stopwatch available for himself. So any play he finds himself, he can literally stopwatch, wait for his cooldown on Q again. So he has a lot more combo possibilities. So I want to see where he ends up going.
MLXG now level 9 with those 3 kills. Has got a lot of gold under his belt, and it's shared amongst the remaining 3 members, Xie, Uzi, and Ming. Xie trying to chase up onto Ming. Faker has his flash. Dark Binding misses, and he's over the wall. Sleepy Trouble Bubble misses, while Xie pushes up in this mid lane. That's MLXG being brought as well. The threat of that Kazakhs is just so terrifying. But Dragon was already taken. At this point, they're just fighting over vision and potentially the Scuttlecrab respawn.
And yeah, you know the vision control fight, it's always an important one. Made a reference to it last time of Faker, Score, and Keen literally looking for that combination. It all just depends on the road from mid lane to bottom lane. Technically mid lane to top lane now that seems like the lanes are going to get swapped. dual lanes are now heading topside. But as long as you can protect your dual lane, that's all that really matters. Shea's in, or at least MLXG is in a better position now, but we'll have to see if better is good enough.
We do see a lane swap out of Korea right now, and it should be giving them the Rift Herald here, as Uzi's up top trying to catch the wave that was pushed in by Keen, and Korea are sending that Kaisa Braum into the mid lane, meaning Faker and Score are free to help follow up and finish off this Rift Herald. 4 members, and they've got that Shen on the other half of the map.
It's a good call. If you look at China's composition, they have a straight outright 1-4 comp. Like, Orin wants to be with the team, so they can actually move that towards a 5v5, but they need to have Zoe in the mid lane. She's kind of poor in sides.
She's going to try and defend this middle tier 1 as MLXG tries to defend, and actually we can see Uzi still clearing out Krugs on the top half of the map, trying to scale up, but the mid tier 1 is broken. 2 turrets now being picked up by this Korean push as they take the top tier 1 and even get a lot of damage onto that tier 2 Rift Herald charge coming through clutch.
Yeah, they couldn't save the wave so they can poke it in the eye before it actually started charging. Now I got the second charge off, and that's all you really need now. Mid lane, resources, top
MLXG
lane.
has found Faker. Look at the damage. True Shot Barrage, but there's Stand United. MLXG has to back away. Uzi's still looking for some more as Keen joins the fight. Meanwhile, Core JJ separated from his team. The flash over the wall, but Core JJ doesn't have his own. He's saved by Keen at the last second. Escorted to safety. He's trying to make a play, and it fizzles.
Yeah, there's a lot happening right now. So Uzi and MLXG thought they had it, but remember, they don't have enough damage. You want MLXG to get his Dusk Blade rather soon. He has a lot of gold to his name, but not just yet enough. So, and you're definitely not going to be expecting just a Sheen coming out of Uzi to be able to get the kill on towards Galio. So 3 items is what I'm looking for Uzi. Just 1 more. I want MLXG to just get Dusk Blade before I really do start respecting the damage.
Okay. The bottom tier 1 now taken by the Banner of Command push from Letme. It is matched by Keen. He's got his own Titanic Hydra already completed and his Banner of Command. No kills or assists, but he is 20 CS ahead of Letme, which is enabling him to keep up in pace of gold with that Ornn. And we'll see how he's able to affect these upcoming fights as Faker is now going for that 1-3-1, as you mentioned, where China trying to do the 1-4, but it's turning into a 1-3-1 because Uzi still needs so much gold. Like you said, he needs to get that 3rd item. He doesn't have the Iceborne Gauntlet. His Muramana just now transforms. Or sorry, Manamune just transforms.
Yeah, and it's interesting because going towards Iceborne Gauntlet means that he's recognizing that he's going to be kiting back a lot more versus the Camille.
Yeah.
Extra armor is going to be nice too. That's cool. He's going to be pretty damn good if he ever gets dove on. But the extra damage from Trinity Force is the standard here, so he is calling an audible in the situation.
He's trying to keep his eye on it, but that means that he's on the other side of the map, and Dragon is spawning in 40 seconds. Now, Baron's also up, not as big a concern this early on, but this next Dragon could try to be slowing down Korea's late game snowballing. He's taking red buff as he's now trekking towards his team to try and catch up.
He's going to be there in time. It's just a question of if they're going to be able to get Dragon or not. Remember, it's an Infernal Dragon, I believe?
Seems like that's just the default Dragon icon.
Okay, okay.
We'll see what it's going to be if the camera moves down just a little bit, but Faker's still pushing top. He's still got that teleport and the level 2 hero's entrance, so he's free to keep on pushing. He's actually spotted out by the Wards of China.
Yep.
So Dragon hasn't spawned just yet. It's only now going to make it onto the map, but this is Korea pressing multiple pressure points, and China will have to pick one to respond to.
Yeah, and it's just smart. Remember what we said? Galio is going to be on side lane, is going to be good for himself, and it's going to be Zoe that wants to be with the team more often than not. So Shen's doing a great job just pressuring out in this, I would say pressuring out in the side lane versus Letme. That's what he should be doing. And Faker's going to be doing the exact same. He's a lot more durable than CA. So Korea should be getting these neutral objectives if they're allowed to do exactly what they're doing on side lanes.
Yeah, 1-3-1. Trying to defend top and defend bottom, but that means they have to give up the Infernal Dragon, which was just picked up now by Korea, and Keen is still pushing into Letme's bottom tier 1.
The natural response is your China, hard push mid and top 2 lanes around Baron, place down the Baron vision, and then really play that game. Like, you know that you're going to be on a time limit because Shen is not going to be there, and he's going to be split pushing a Storm. But if you just force them to respect it, your team fight will come. And with an Iceborne being complete off of Ezreal, he should be more comfortable with going for those fights.
Starting to step forward onto Ruler and trying to break down this mid-tier 1. Uzi has so much weight resting on him on this Ezreal. Dark Binding catches the minion wave. That means Ruler is a little bit more free to step up and start trying to look for some chip damage on this AP Kai'Sa. But still, Uzi, he's starting to feel himself now. Even Letme's being brought up. MLXG's on the side. He's got 5 members. Score forces the fight. Stand United onto Ming. There's the hero's entrance. Ruler resets it. MLXG goes golden. But they've already killed Ming. They've killed MLXG. And now it's 5 versus 3 as China bite off way too much more than they can chew. Call of the Forge God. Who's the target? Keen and Faker eats the hit, but Keen is so tanky. You can see Uzi's trying to shred through his health, but he just doesn't do enough at this point in time. Banner of Command's actually used. Xie trying to get some chip damage, but Korea are just playing behind this minion wave, playing behind the skill shots, and China can't do anything to deal with it.
Yeah, Uzi does not do enough damage at this point. Doesn't have...
Teleport
wait
behind them. Keen is getting back in. He's completed the recall. That's actually Faker. I'm sorry. He chases up to Uzi and finds himself that easy kill. And China give up 3 for nothing.
Yeah, and you know, there's already pings towards Baron. Korea knows exactly what they should be doing at this point. Even with Kha'Zix up and available at that point, you have the Galio. Why not use Galio behind the pit to bait for kills? It is a super easy strategy you can utilize to bait for fights around Baron.
That's what we see. They're starting to move forward. Ruler's actually going for a recall. He's got himself teleport, and Keen is bottom lane with a teleport of his own. Again, this 1-3-1, constant pressure from Korea, and China are unable to respond.
And it was mostly based off the fact that Xie wasn't getting any damage off in that fight. He was trying to be on the side, trying to throw Sleepy Trouble bubbles and his Q as well. They weren't hitting, which is fair enough because it was being played around a minion wave, so as well, it was strong from Korea to choose their battle behind the constantly pushing wave. It was not going to be Ezreal that was getting his Qs across. It was not going to be the Zoe. So it was a great stage for the fight, and now it's China that recognizes they need to be in a lot more open environment.
We'll have to see if they can adapt this upcoming fight as another tier now picked up from Uzi. He's going for that classic double tier build on this patch 8-10. Morello's finally finished off for Xie in that mid lane, so maybe he can get a little bit more damage. But if you look at the other side, Ruler's now sitting at 2 items. Zanya's is finished off for Faker, and he's got 5 stacks on those double Dark Seal. And Score is getting closer to this Trinity Force. If that fight was already dicey for China, specifically for MLXG and Ming, it's about to become a lot scarier. Though we do see a stopwatch picked up from Ming. MLXG did sell his own to try and rush his own Duskblade.
It's interesting, just on the basis of power spike. Because you're right, Ruler has 1 more items before he's super strong with his Rabadon's death cap. And Score, once he gets Trinity Force, is willing to take any fight. So if you're China and you actually just need time, you need time to build up now your 2nd tier before Ezreal is really strong. And you probably just need time before Xie can get, I would say, to his Void Staff, and he feels much more confident attacking the tanks of the enemy team.
Yeah.
That's what you need. So gold and time to build your tier is what China should do. They should really take it slow here.
It's real scary, though, because Korea's already starting to play around that Baron. You can see they're fighting over vision, over the red buff. MLXG, he's sitting on that smite, uses it and leaps to safety as he secures it. Sleepy Trouble bubble, but Faker soaks the hit. Xie eats a shield of Duran. As the binding finds Core JJ, there goes Letme. He's actually joining in for that Call of the Forge God. They managed to find a kill onto Core JJ, but Stand United and the rest of Korea are able to get out of there. Xie steps up, but Faker with the bait is able to pull him in. They find a Dark Binding. MLXG and Xie find one. MLXG flashes to safety. Hero's entrance. Score goes in. He's assassinating Uzi. Doesn't have the damage. He goes gold to try and stall this out, and he will, in fact, die. Now 5 kills to 6 as this game is accelerating.
Super good pick potential. You even see the flash coming out of Ming to get the pick. So 5 members strong. It's going to be on Keen to see if he can stop him.
That's the Sleepy Trouble bubble. Dark Binding on top of that. Uzi follows up for more damage. Flash cone as Keen is trying to retreat, but Baron is at such low health. It's at half health right now. Smite is still ready for MLXG. It's about to come up. So China are just playing around that, but that means Keen can get the damage. Faker is walking up. He steps forward, knock up onto Letme. MLXG is caught as well. Can he kill the jungler? He can. Now there's no smite for either side. Meanwhile, Keen has gone in. Uzi flashes back. Faker goes down, and Xie hops over the wall. Core is back up, and China are staying for too long. They're losing health. Ruler gets 1. Ruler gets 2. Ruler's looking for number 3. Letme with no flash has no chance. He goes down. A triple kill to Ruler for Korea. And now Core JJ is going to try to finish off the Baron. They have barely got any health, but that Kaisa has got massive shred, and with Score there to tank and to smite, it's picked up. Korea win the fight.
What a play. Keen stuck around for so long, risking his life to stop them from dealing damage to Baron. Baron was just chipping at their HP bar for so long that Xie was actually just out of the fight. He couldn't even participate. He was just sitting behind the pit saying, all right, you guys have at it, because I'm gone. I'm literally at 10 HP. So once Faker comes in, he's confident enough to charge up taunt and kill jungler, and at that point, it's a Wild West out there.
Yeah, it's every man for themselves. And now Baron picked up for Korea. They're up 5,000 gold. Mountain Dragon has spawned, and already Keen is setting up on that side of the map. And that's okay. We did see the Shadow Dash into the wall. Call it the Victory Shadow Dash, because he's got a lot of momentum right now.
Yeah, you can just imagine that the Shadow Dash has done damage to a champion. It does taunt camp, so I understand it. It just doesn't do damage.
Yes. It's the mental taunt. That's what that one is.
I'll
Now,
take it.
they're going to take up that Mountain Dragon and start pushing up into the base of Korea. They've already broken down the mid-tier 2 from the earlier Baron push, and already you can see Ruler is setting up on that bottom tier 1. 12,000 gold to Uzi's 10,300. It's even in mid lane. It's pretty even in the jungle. But look at that. Keen, 2,600 gold ahead of Let Me right now. Plus Ruler's own 2,000 gold advantage.
Yeah, it's only going to get worse here because we know that Korea's composition is very snowbally. And even though the heavy poke from China should be all right, they don't have a lot of protections for themselves. In fact, they've really doubled down on the all-in of poke and whether or not they can convert it, because Kha'Zix is supposed to be the one that converts the poke into an actual kill.
Yeah.
But now that they've gotten so far behind based off this alone, the poke shouldn't mean too much to the tanks that are going to be walking up like Faker, Keen, and Core. And then after all of that is said and done, MLXG is going to be a sitting duck.
Yeah.
Really useless in a lot of these fights, so they have to find an opening onto Ruler.
On the upside, he has finished off that Dusk Blade, so he's got a little bit more potential, but now he has to worry about the stopwatch that Ruler is sitting on. Plus, he's starting to pelt across with these Void Seekers. That Bannered Baron cannon running through the turret. Xie steps up as he finds a slow on the Score, but it's not enough. Meanwhile, Keen and Let Me trying to fight, while Keen still in range of those minions. Breaks down the top tier 2. China have got to give up ground.
And the worst thing about this wet noodle fight is that Keen can actually just ignore him and go for the tower itself. So that's how it is right now, where Keen can just say, you know what, I don't give a damn. I'm taking down this turret. You're going to have to stop me in another way.
The adrenaline rush.
Oh!
Ruler, as they're all inning onto Uzi. He's down and he is out. Back in the fountain from the gray screen as Korea dive onto the inhibitor turret. Another Void Seeker lands, but MLXG survives. But the inhibitor line has been broken. They turn and they break the inhibitor right afterward. China, without their main damage source, are in trouble.
Yeah, they're going to get a big payoff here. Now the minion wave, just wait a second.
Holy cow, a double kill for Ruler as Faker flashes and forces China back. But here comes the next minion wave. It doesn't have a super minion, but it does have a cannon. MLXG has got a smite ready. He's trying to clear it out, but the minions line up perfectly to defend. Let Me is denied his Call of the Forge God. It's Call of the Forge, nope. As Core JJ and the rest of Korea push forward. Let Me on the fountain as the Nexus is broken. Korea take the win and defeat China in this tiebreaker match.